Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. It's going to be an interesting show tonight because Sawyer is my beautiful co-host. Hi, Sawyer. How are you? She told me not to make fun of her hair tonight, and I'm not going to make fun of her hair tonight. Sawyer, your hair is beautiful. We also have a wonderful man, Stan Zier. He was the first guy to wave the flag after 9/11, right? Is that true? And he helps the Marines. He helps a lot of young special kids that you know for 30-something, 40-something years in the lower income districts, whatever. We'll talk about all of that, how you've done it, how you've helped him, how you've helped all those people. And Stan is going to talk a lot. He loves to talk a lot. I think he loves to talk more than me. How you doing, Stan?
Very good.
He came all the way from Pennsylvania. And then we have my wonderful, delicious man. We're even going to advertise him. His name is Ezra Levy. Ezra Levy. He has, well, he thinks he saved me, but he was my attorney, my criminal lawyer. He helped me out with the fake incitement. He tells me not to talk about it and make everybody crazy. So he's sitting next to me telling me to shut up. But I'm going to fight with him about a couple of things tonight. But we're going to talk about Ezra. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. But Sawyer, take it away. Who's paying for the show? And you got to make it quick, Sawyer, because we got too many guys to talk tonight. Oh, by the way, everybody, you're listening to the Just Enough Heshy show. You could email me on justenoughheshy@gmail.com. You can tune in to watch us on Facebook and YouTube on Just Enough Heshy. And most importantly, you can call into the show at 718-289-0070. Sawyer, what's that number?
718-289-0070. We have High Tech Web Group. Have you been pushing off remodeling or creating a website? Well, now you don't have to any longer. Let High Tech Web Group's team of professionals construct your site with skill and precision. You can reach High Tech Web Group at 212-235-2777. That's 212-235-2777. Check out their website at info@hightechwebgroup.com. That's info@hitechwebgroup.com. Call High Tech Web Group today so you can experience a whole new world of business. 212-235-2777.
212-235-2777. Wonderful. Thank you, Sawyer.
You ready for the next one, Heshy?
I am. Don't stop.
Plaza Auto Leasing. They are not only a leasing company, but also a dealership. You get the best of both worlds. The flexibility to lease or buy any vehicle, make or model, combined with quick service, huge inventory, and easy approvals. There is no finance manager to meet with, just a friendly pal, sales representative that can handle most of the transaction from start to finish without you even having to step foot in their office. All you have to do is place your order, and they will even deliver your car right to your door. What are you waiting for? Become a pal and call Plaza Auto Leasing today. You can reach Plaza Auto Leasing at 718-975-9000. That's 718-975-9000. You can have Nostrandon Avenue N. Call 718-975-9000 and become a pal today. And don't forget to tell them Uncle Heshy sent you.
That's right. 718-975-9000. I love them. And then, of course, we have Green Line Building Solutions.
Preservation and Development, Fire Department, Criminal Court, Department of Finance, Environmental Control Board settlements, Building Consulting, Violation Removal, Construction Management, Owner Compliance, Contracting, Licensed Department of Building Expediters, Designs, Professionals for all your building solutions. Located at 202 Foster Avenue, you can reach Green Line Building Solutions at 718-871-0382. That's 718-871-0382.
Located at 202 Foster Avenue. Yes, I'm still in business. Yes, I'm still helping people. And we're going to save the day because the building department's coming down after you. We have a beautiful legal team and we know our stuff well. And they're coming after us today. We just voted another mask violation, even though they said they're removing the penalties. I don't know, your councilmen, your assemblymen, your senators, I don't know where they are. But Green Line Building Solutions, 718-871-0382. And then we have Mr. Super.
Mr. Super, I'm looking at his everything, and he seems to be like a super.
No, but this is a cool idea. If you own a building, Sawyer,
right?
And you know people hire supers, and it's a whole like these guys are like a whole different world. You hire them, they come to the building with their team, they clean, they mop. I know because I hire them. They shovel for you outside on the shoveling days, and then when there's repairs needed, you call them. They don't have to live in the building, and these guys come right away, and they do complete renovations.
A lot of supers in buildings, I'm sorry to tell you this, they're not so qualified
But
to be
this
super.
is a company that has everything to have everything.
Cabinet repairs, furniture assembly and installation, light fixture installation, ceiling leak repair. Wow, that's a big one. Sink leak repair, toilet snaking, shelf installation, wall patch, and paint. Wow, they basically do it all.
They do it all. Just because he's got a business card doesn't mean he's got skills. Mr. Super employs a vetted team of professional handymen that are available on demand to serve your needs. So call them at 718-218-5555, 718-218-5555. These guys, I'm telling you, they're professionals. Plus, they took me out to a steak dinner, so I like them.
That's a really easy number to remember. 718-218-5555.
Now we have my boy who's sitting next to me, Ezra Levy, law officers of Ezra Levy, specializing in all criminal matters, including.
That's why he's your boy.
But listen to this one. Even something that I don't like, weapons possession. Really, you do weapons possession?
Yes, I do, my friend.
Heshy, you not telling us something?
Not me, baby. He knows that because I had a lot of people to kill, and he won't let me tell the name that he wanted. I want to say. Okay.
Wow, he does it all. Weapons possession, drug offenses, domestic violence, theft offenses, assaults, DWI.
917-755-1187, 917-755-1187. Look at the banner right now being posted up. I'm telling you, pay attention, guys. He's the guy you need. I don't care what you want to say, but if you want to try to be smart and you don't have a lawyer like violations or tickets, here's a guy that's going to help you. You need a lawyer, well priced, he understands, and he's been doing it. Well, how many years have you been a lawyer already?
Over 22 years.
Over 22 years,
Wow.
and he's been on both sides of the aisle, so we're going to talk about it. EZRALEVYLAWFIRM@gmail.com. Can't you get an easier email? What the hell? What's wrong with you? Are you normal? Can't you just get Levy? Wow. Ezra Levy Law Firm at gmail.com. Criminal and family court, order of protection, defenses. Listen, guys. It's not a joke. When you get taken to, I understand a criminal, you can fight that. But a family court is very tough. You need a professional lawyer. I love Ezra. He helped me out. 917-755-1187.
Can people text you at that number?
They can text me at that number.
Okay.
That's cool.
Very good. That's what you're supposed to be able to call them all the time. And then, of course, we have Traveler's Choice, which Boomy's not here.
Joseph and Devorah Lifer. They will take care of everything, all your travel needs, your tickets, your booking, your vehicles, your whatever you need, your hotel. You can reach Joseph and Devorah Lifer at 212-868-8698, 212-868-8698. You can email them at josephL@travelerschoice.com. Or what else can we do?
212-868-8698. Wonderful, great travel agency. Your
Traveler's Choice is your only choice for travel. Where's Boomy when we need him?
I know. We need somebody to mess it up. And of course, guys, I know the election is over. I know I've lost. Well, I'm not sure. They confirmed today are fake ballots. But I want you to know I gave my attorney today a piece of paper. Right now, he's going to look at it. That they are suing me because they want to hand count it because they're fighting because of the false ballots. I mean, this is a shame board of elections. I mean, they're confirming Eric Adams. They're saying there's 135 fake ballots. Amber Adler, my opponent now, is now suing the whole group of people to recount all the ballots. Saperstein, my other opponent, who's I think declared the winner, is suing everybody to count the ballots by hand. I was there when I saw a couple of zeros come out of the machines, so I don't know what's going on. Listen, you know what I'm upset about? I don't care who won the election. You should have come out to vote. It shouldn't have been close in the neighborhood. It should have been a landslide. It should have been, you know what? You pick who you want. But having somebody by winning by 200 or 300 votes is not the way that somebody should represent you. And if that's what you need and you didn't want to come out and you have a different community representing you, hey, I'm not disappointed. I just want you to know that you are going into a new city council with new laws. You know, you're having people fighting with you to do the vaccines. You're going to see one of my videos that I posted today. The governor of Louisiana said that to prepare for a hurricane, you listen to this, Ezra, you need to take the COVID-19 shot. Really? I mean, please.
If you're going to have foot surgery, you should prepare by having a lobotomy, because the government already did.
If you're going to the supermarket, okay,
Yeah.
and you're going to buy soup, not sushi, because sushi you don't need the COVID shot for, because you get sushi free. Or if you want to go on the roller coaster in Coney Island, you need the COVID-19 shot, whatever.
It's amazing the bribes that
Yeah.
they're giving you to get these
It is.
vaccines.
Anyways,
Well, yeah, I mean, yesterday, I think Jen Psaki actually said Biden's going to start having people not knock on our doors and ask us if we've been vaccinated.
Do you believe it? And you're going to see there's even going to be on your passport. It's foolish. We're going to start the show right now. We're going to talk to our guests, but first we do the most important thing.
Sergeant Peters, Dovin Shani Hikin, Mira Nava,
My granddaughter.
Lila Tamar, and my beautiful one and only Shoshana.
You know, Mira Dava doesn't hear the show, so you got to say to everybody, I'm shouting out to my granddaughter, Mira Nav. She was so cute today.
She's not my granddaughter.
She's my granddaughter. She was very cute. We made a birthday party for my son yesterday, and she was singing "Happy Birthday" to Daddy. I was so thinking. I said, and she says, "My birthday soon." I said, "You know, me and you, Mira, have the same birthday." You know, she was born like a day before.
She was your birthday gift.
Right, she was my birthday gift. So I want you to know, and also I'm shouting out to my friend Ellie and Mr. Super. I want to thank you again, Yossi. I don't like your friend Mayor, but Yossi took me out to a beautiful meal. We had we made fun of each other. Here's my quote of the day. This quote is by Mark Twain, and somebody sent it to me. Politicians and diapers must be changed often. For the same reason. Come on, guys, you understand what that means. They're both dirty, okay?
They're both full of shiitake mushroom
as
sauce.
my granddaughter tells me, poo-poo. Anyways, here is my joke of the day. I make fun of Linda, and she's listening to the show. Everybody listens to this, then we start the show. I was sitting in the office with Linda, and she was talking on the speaker to an insurance broker about our car insurance. As she was finishing up renewing our car insurance over the phone and was about to hang up, the woman on the other end asked Linda if we had a pet. Linda says, yes, we got a dog. So the lady has said, would you like to have him insured too? Linda said, no thanks, he doesn't drive. Okay. Well, she always has an answer. I thought that was funny. Anyways, we're listening to the Just Enough Heshy show, guys. You can call it to the show, 718-289-0070. You could send a question on the YouTube.
Super chats?
On the super chats or chats. Ask Sawyer any question, we're going to answer
Any question. You can ask me any question.
We're going to do. But I already introduced you, Ezra, which I want you to talk about, even though you're a wonderful lawyer, and I'm going to ask you about some stuff. But Stan, I want to talk about you because I want to tell you what I heard about you. You founded a company, founded many things. I mean, you've done so many good things, but you are also, I'm wearing your little button over here, which Donald Trump, I heard, wore. Am I correct?
Correct.
You got to talk into the mic. You can't shake your head, which is, you're beautiful, you're handsome, not as good looking
Thank
as
you
me.
very much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm better looking, right?
Oh,
Sawyer? Sawyer? You got to tell everybody in the mic, am I better looking? No. Okay.
Nice talking to you.
Anyways, he founded an organization called Never Again Is Now. Okay, he writes for the Israeli national newspaper. You're a writer. He founded a company. Anyway, you also worked with the Marines. You also help special youths in the tougher neighborhoods, in the low income or minority neighborhoods for many years, how you've helped them. And I'm so proud of you because I do that as well. And the most thing that I want everybody to hear is, we all have the Pledge of Allegiance that we say since we're little kids. My friend Stan here has a new version of it to install or to put in to incorporate the Constitution, because we're just stupid people. We don't understand how great this great country is. I was watching one of the television shows the other day, and on CNN, and a black congresswoman comes up and says, "We're not free. Black people are not free. They're still in bondage.
They're oppressed in their BMWs."
And then you have a black congressman that comes up who's a Republican and says she's an idiot. Nobody pays attention to her. He says never did you have black people in the whole world be accomplished as much as in America. I'm not saying there's not prejudice, but we have the opportunity here to be free. We have the opportunity to make decisions. We have the opportunity to go forward, not to be better, to make ourselves better. Anyway, Stan, I want you to tell us a little bit. Why did you? I worked in some of those tough neighborhoods. Aren't you scared they were going to put your life in danger, kill you, rob you, hurt you?
Absolutely.
And what did you do for these kids? Tell me what you did.
Well, before I start, I want to thank 2 or 3 people. I've been taught you thank people when they do something to you, whether you like them or not. If they do something great for you, you're obligated. So I'm here because of Rudy Elizabeth Eagle. She put me here. So I'm obligated to thank her. Also for
Derek Gibson.
Gary Gibson.
Who's running for governor on the Republican Party.
I'm working with him. And also Tom Zimich, who's running for Queensborough president. And Mark Zabitsky, and he's running over there in Coney Island.
Now, did you ever you lived in New York for many years?
Yes, I did.
And you've seen the hell, the corruption, the crime that was going on in New York in the 1970s and 80s.
Absolutely.
And what do you say about it now?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you why I ended up working in Bed-Stuy and these places. I did it because I love America. This country, my father came here from out of the programs, and he ended up playing with Toscanini. He was an amazing man. And I saw what was going on. I didn't see anyone going in there and helping anyone. But I felt, I played basketball. I was a regular Jew, an American guy. And as I got older, I decided to walk in myself and start to train kids to do things. I started bands, marching bands. I visited their parents. I took their kids down to Washington, D.C., took them to the Lincoln Memorial.
These are inner city kids.
Inner city kids right out of here in Brooklyn. And I faced people like Farrakhan, Sharpton, pimps. I was not afraid. I was not afraid because I have a conscience and I have to live by it. So what am I to be afraid of?
Well, men like you, this is what this great country is about. And tell us about when you waved the flag at 9/11. Tell us.
All right,
about
so what happened was after 9/11, when the vets came home from Vietnam, I was out on Fifth Avenue and no one came to greet them.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Me and Ezra don't really know that we were born. We were born during that. No, we were born at that time. But I'm saying, no, you were born much later, in the 70s. But I was there. I mean, I saw. I was watching. I mean, I remember some as a kid, but no, I did not really.
Nothing,
I didn't.
70. I'm 76, so I'm standing there on Fifth Avenue. My friends coming up, Special Forces. Every block there was about 8 people. Can you imagine that?
And today they made a party for the first line. What were they called
First
again?
responders.
The first responders. And let me tell you something. I have no problem with the first responders because I was there as well. But I was there helping serve. This idiot, de Blasio and Governor Cuomo, they made a fireworks show for them. They made a parade down in downtown Manhattan. Let me tell you how many other responders he didn't approve of. How many people who served the grocery stores that they couldn't come there and a thing. How many of us that made food programs and distributed food to old people and things. He only gave the medical profession. I don't mind that he didn't honor everybody. He just said first responders. There's so many other first responders, and he's just saying medical profession and doctors, but he didn't understand all those people who delivered for Amazon and UPS and all those packages that were going on during the COVID stuff. These are the first responders. Everybody's a first responder. Neighbors who help neighbors, first responders. But this guy just wanted to make a parade so we can forget about all the stupidity and all the criminal things. And I want to read you something. Mr. de Blasio, do you know that compared to 2019, listen to this, Ezra, this is good for you, Ezra. I want you to hear this. Murder up 50%. Do you represent murderers?
I have.
Really? Oh my God, Ezra, you got to tell me one story. Felony assaults up 31%. Burglary up 13%. Grand larceny auto, you're going to love this, 103%. You do that as well?
Unfortunately.
Too bad. Housing crime, 3%. Shootings, 105%. Somebody's got to explain to me what this idiot de Blasio, even on his private, on any stupid planet, that this guy is busy spending $9 billion in the hole. You hear this, Sawyer? And this guy is making parades. They're making fireworks shows.
He's painting streets.
He's painting streets. The guy doesn't understand that we're struggling, we're suffering, and I don't know what to do. I want to take a quick call. Stan, listen to the call. Sawyer, pick up a phone call. Hello, you on the air with Heshy, Sawyer, Ezra, and Stan. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Rabbi Tisler.
Okay, now, Rabbi, but go ahead.
This is Shia, your chassid. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the chesed that you do on this world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should pay you back double and triple, quadruple.
Thank you so much. You know, my dear friend, and when I came to visit you, all you wanted was a hat, and that's what made you happy, and it made me happy that you let me sit with you because you joked with me. You're a good man. I hope you're feeling better. And you know what? It's not to thank me. Like Ezra, you should see this guy sitting next to me, this lawyer. He goes above and beyond his call of duty of his job. Everybody has a job. Look at Stan. Stan has a job. And Stan goes down to the inner city, goes to the kids, goes to Washington, cares about so many people. That's why I'm so proud of you, Stan, for coming to this show. Because I want to hear, did you bring this new Pledge of Allegiance that you made for us? You're going to tell it to us. Shia, thank you for your call. Thank you for thanking me. And I know that you would have voted for me if you could have. I love you.
And one more thing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Always one more thing.
One quick question. Kokomo and Bozo is going to still stay in office?
No, so Cracamo is gone. I mean, not Cracamo. Yes, De Blasio, De Blibio, whatever the idiot is, he's gone. Thank you for his call, Sawyer. He's gone no matter what. Thank God on December 31st or January 4th, whatever it is, he's gone. We're going to have a new mayor. I know what you're all going to say, Eric Adams. I'm going for Sliwa because Eric Adams lies. I mean, Eric Adams first bitched about, Trump. You know that? He says, oh, Trump caused riots. Trump caused problems. You know, Trump is a bad guy. First of all, here's another person who just ran for borough president. And he screams at his opponent. I want you to see this. And he says to his opponent, we beat you. You're a racist. This is what Queensboro President Donovan Richards slams to his rival Elizabeth Crowley after a photo finish in the primary. He calls her a racist. He won't even be gracious winner at any time. Now, this is the way we work in the city. This de Blozo is gone. Cracamo, Cuomo thinks he's running again. We have good people running against him. We have Derek Gibson. We have Andrew Giuliani. We have a whole bunch of people that are going to be running against. Who is that other guy you told me that's running against him that you're going to be?
Well, it's Derek is running for governor.
Derek, but there's another one on the Democrats.
Is running. He's a Republican against Queensboro. He's
Okay. We need somebody. We need Cuomo. I don't want you people to forget what he did to us. He did bad things to us. Eric Adams, I'm telling you now, the man, he was borough president for 8 years. Now all of a sudden he woke up. You know, he used to have, he goes on the radio. I don't understand Eric Adams at all. It's time, Eric Adams, you had your 8 years, you were captain. I don't know if I could trust him. I like him, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I could trust him being mayor. You know, and he even said that he wants to go back to the Dinkin times. I'm sure you're going to be happy with that, Ezra. Ezra, tell us, Ezra. I mean, Ezra, you've seen it all. I mean, me and Stan, we haven't seen what you've seen. I mean, what do you do when you're sitting there? And I understand that your job is to believe everybody's innocent or proven guilty. But when you're sitting in that courtroom with your defendant, and I'm a good defendant because I didn't beat the other guy, but I don't know how you looked at me. I know you were making fun of me. The fat guy was there, but I'm just telling you that Ezra, when you're sitting there and you see the person that was beaten, or the wife that was put into the hospital and they're sitting there with bloody eyes, what do you have to say? He's still innocent?
Well, I mean, the way I always viewed my job and my role as a defense attorney is to minimize any restraints on my client's freedom as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So, you know, being a public defender for as long as I was, obviously I was representing many very guilty clients who, no matter how much I tried, the best I could do is, you know, get them a good plea deal.
But my question too is, you've also represented innocent people.
I have,
and
that's
this is
the
what
worst
bothers
feeling.
me about you. You represent innocent people, and you know you're not going to win the case, which is wrong, and you make a plea deal as well. Why do you do that?
Well, that's not exactly true.
Okay, so explain it to me. That's what
I mean,
we all see this on TV,
right,
so we don't know better.
The worst feeling I ever had as a defense attorney was actually my first felony trial. I had a client who was clearly a victim of a cross-racial misidentification. I mean, this guy.
What do you mean by cross?
Well, this happened on Cannon Street, down, you know, right outside, right on the Borough Park border, and it was a young Jewish girl who was accosted, and she was mugged. And about 6 weeks, she was mugged by a black gentleman wearing dreadlocks. And about 6 weeks later, they arrested my client, and my client actually was mentally disabled. He has terrible speech impediments. His tongue was so elongated that he couldn't even speak clearly. And he was also a Haitian immigrant. And he was was convinced he was guilty because they arrested him, because he's been through the system so many times over and over again.
They pressure you also, don't they pressure you
Of course
to give a confession?
Well, they pressure you for your confessions, but I'm talking about the client himself being.
He was mentally incapacitated?
He was mentally incapacitated, that he was ready to plead guilty for something he didn't do. Fortunately, unfortunately, we just couldn't work a fair deal. So there was basically, the district attorney was baiting us into going to trial. Turned out that his previous arrest is what saved him on my case, is because I had an arrest photo that was taken about 6 weeks before he was arrested, before this incident happened. And he had hair about the size of Stan's right now. So you really can't get a nice, you know,
So at the end of the day, you got him off.
shoulder length.
But I know that these prosecutors, and I'm going to bring up my case again, they threatened us that if we go to trial, they're going to lower my case and take it away from a jury trial. And if I don't plead, I can get in trouble. And if I lose, I mean, there's constant negotiations when you hear that. I know my prosecutor spoke to a witness, and the witness told him straight out, "I'm not guilty," and still he pursued the fact. Why? You're going to say political, Heshy?
Yeah,
that's
well,
not an answer.
I know it's not an answer, and Heshy and I'm trying not to reveal any private conversations we have for obvious reasons.
Don't worry, Heshy will reveal it for
He
you.
could, but I can't. But that being said, Heshy was definitely and I'll say this, Heshy was definitely a victim of a political prosecution. And, you know, it's unfortunately, Heshy was in that situation.
But we
But
had to make a
thankfully,
deal, yeah.
thankfully, like I said, my goal as a defense attorney is to minimize the constraints on restraints on my client's freedom as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So I'm going to say this: July 28th, Heshy's going to get the ACD that he always deserved. So after that, we could talk about the case a little bit more in
Ezra,
detail.
one question to you: bail reform. I need to understand your
My perspective. Look, bail reform was a good idea. It still is a good idea. I think it's just been so
Abused?
It's not abused. The progressives in Albany and in New York City took a great idea and just made it so unworkable. I don't think there's
Remember, you're a defense attorney.
I'm a defense attorney.
So this works for your benefit.
It works for my client's benefits, but it also doesn't, because a revolving system is not going to help my clients, because eventually when you have people who unfortunately are recidivists, or they're going to get caught, they're going to get arrested more than once, and they're not having any constraints on their,
They're promoting more crimes.
They're promoting more crime, and the only thing that's going to end up is you're going to do a more serious crime for which you're going to do time for.
Because if they could get away with it, let's go big or go home. Let's do something bigger.
100%. It's not just that. You have to understand. I'm a defense attorney, but I'm also a human being. I also live in this city. I don't feel safe. I personally don't ride the trains anymore. I wouldn't let my family ride the trains anymore, and it's because, I know Heshy was, you were victimized about him, right?
Yeah,
and nothing basically happens.
Do you know in San Francisco, I heard that shoplifting now is not a crime?
Well, they've closed so many Walmarts or Walgreens in San Francisco because it's not prosecuted. As I say,
you're not prosecuting somebody who commits a crime. That's it.
That's what they're doing. You have progressive district attorneys, a lot of them from the George Soros.
Why do we call them progressives? They're not progressives.
They're regressives.
No,
they're regressives.
Excuse me. They're none of that.
I agree with you.
I don't believe that.
I agree with you.
I'll tell you who I think they are. You're living in Mao Zedongville here.
Yeah, but that's your problem, Stan.
No,
I'm upset with you about that.
You've
been
finish.
around. No, but you've been around for so many years.
Right.
You believe in your Constitution. You believe in America. You believe in the vets. You fight for this country. You go help the poor. You go to the inner cities. And I understand. You allow these people. We let them get elected. We let these.
I didn't allow anyone to do it.
Okay.
Not me.
Okay. The point is,
The fact is that the politicians the whole way through never understood the Constitution.
And what is the Constitution? Explain.
Constitution is a declaration of war on tyranny. That's all it is.
So when your governors shut down this country,
It was a declaration of war on tyranny.
and so when we fought back and we got arrested, they were allowed to do it.
You let them do it.
We let them do it.
Listen,
Heshy didn't let them do it.
excuse me. In Pennsylvania, where they shut everything down and the businesses were going out, thousands of businesses were closed down. I went up to the steps, the capital of Pennsylvania, actually with 2 Marines. And we said to the people in Pennsylvania, All you got to do is just open your businesses. There's nothing they can do to you if in mass you open up your businesses. 1 second.
That's what I told people.
I did not get one support from any of the leaders in that party. Nothing. So what happens? So we told them, if you don't shut it down now, you're going to be under communism soon, and they'll take it all away from you anyhow. And what came to pass? What's coming to pass? Joseph Biden, his Build Back Better is nothing than burn it down, shut it down, and redistribute the wealth. That's what you're watching here. And we still can't get it. And why don't we get it? We forgot. Obama. He was a stone communist. And Biden was his disciple. And when he came along, no one believed it. For 2 years, I've been watching the news. I've listened to everything. I want to know, how can communists impeach Trump if they declared war on the Constitution? He was impeached twice by communists.
By the way, Mr. Legal Guy,
Yeah.
was that allowed?
Right now,
Okay,
why
so
don't-
let me be clear.
I know you don't discuss that law.
I'm not gonna, it's
But
fine.
you
I'm comfortable
wait a
enough with that.
You just saw somebody suing me frivolously, who sued many people in New York City frivolously, that they told him you can't sue anybody in New York anymore. This guy, Mr. Hirsch. Mr. Hirsch is a guy who wouldn't give his wife a get. A get is a divorce. I'm telling the people, he wouldn't give his wife a Jewish divorce, and he kept her abused and in chains for years. We went and we protested. And then this judge came over to me and said, Heshy, if you get everybody away, we'll give her the get. They were working on this for 4 years. I didn't do anything crazy. I wasn't inciting a riot. I have videos of my time there. Again, he just said it. They told him you can never file a lawsuit in New York because he filed against everybody. He then went to Jersey. How do you do that, to go to Jersey and file a lawsuit? I mean, it's a game. If they said you can't file in New York, I'm a New York resident, you can't file.
All right, so you mentioned Mr. Hirsch.
Isn't that like out of the jurisdiction
here's the
and
thing.
not improper venue?
Fortunately or unfortunately, I've had I've had my run-ins with Mr. Hirsch myself. I represent his in-laws, or hopefully soon be former in-laws. So I have, and we still have some ongoing litigation. So I'm going to be a little careful what I say. But to answer your question, Heshy's question, and so your question about going personal insights, Mr. Hirsch himself is a resident of New Jersey, so he's claiming that he would have the right to sue in New Jersey for conduct that affects him in New Jersey. And he's suing, I know he's suing Heshy in
$5 billion, by the way.
I don't think I have anything to worry about. Just some legal fees. But honestly, when it comes
It's based
frivolous.
on, no, hold on, but it's also, is it only based on where he lives, or can it be also, isn't it usually where it took place?
Well, it does. It has to be both. It has to be either where it takes place, or you're gonna have an effect. So, oftentimes when it comes to commercial issues, a company puts out something on Amazon, you can hit all 50 states. You open yourself to litigation in all 50 states, no matter where your company is based out. This is a lot different. Heshy was from my understanding, was protesting in Brooklyn, and
So then
I
if-
don't think
what-
Heshy has.
But it wasn't even protesting. The other people were protesting. I showed up over
I
there.
don't think I have
So
anything
what
to
does
worry
that
about.
have to do with New Jersey that
Has
he lives there?
has absolutely nothing to do with New Jersey, and I think once you get to federal court in New Jersey, I would be shocked if it's not thrown out.
But, when...
But again,
when-
frivolous lawsuits,
when
wasting
He-
our
I
time. And
understand.
but I want to finish it up. So now you understand. Explain to the people of frivolous lawsuits. President Trump, I understand he was president. How do you go after a man? I mean, he won both times. We knew he was going to win. We knew it was stupid. We knew there was no evidence. There was no Russian collusion. Years, $40 million. And still they went, and it's like a trial, this impeachment.
Well, impeachment-
Shouldn't everybody in Congress who voted against him automatically pay his legal fee since they lost? Isn't that the law?
No,
that
it's
when
not.
you sue somebody,
It's not. Legal fees aren't collected when you lose anymore. That's something that really went out the window a long time ago.
so I can sue you,
There are a few states and a few jurisdictions, and there are a few scenarios where you could still sue for to get legal fees if you recover.
Frivolously sued?
Frivolous, yeah, but
We should move to that state.
But the thing is, there is a way to sue somebody for frivolous lawsuit. It's basically called an abusive process. But again, unfortunately, many people who make these frivolous lawsuits don't have enough money that you're going to have a lawyer who's going to really jump at the case and try to take it unless he's going to get paid by the hour, and it makes no sense for the plate.
I'd like to
So
make
it's
a
like the-
point.
Again, your Constitution does not defend me.
Yes, of course it is. I'd like to make a point. Here's the point. You keep asking, how did they do this, and how did this come about, and where did they have this in the country? Where did they have this?
We let them.
No, it's not that we let them. We didn't even know our own civics. That's one point. But number two, Joseph Biden stood up in front of the United States of America and he said, I'm going to get rid of systemic racism as his platform. Really? I wrote an article in Israeli National News about that. Systemic racism believes that we, the Western civilization, white people and everything, took advantage of all people of color, and we stole from them. All the property, everything that you're sitting here, you're privileged because we didn't give them a chance.
Yeah, how the hell did
Wait,
we
I'm not
vote
done.
him in?
One second, I'm not done. It's very, very important I finish it. So what happens to Heshy and you and me and everyone else? That immigration program, that's an invasion. Why? Because Pamela Harris and the rest of them believe we don't own this land. So, in order to get everything back to them, because they believe systemic racism is the reason we are prejudiced, we're an evil group, we took everything from everyone, they're going to give it back and redistribute it. And that's what you're finding. When you go into the cities and they come against Heshy or anyone, that's where they're coming against him because of who he is. That's why they're letting all the black people out because get a free pass. You didn't do anything wrong. You're under that kind of system.
Look at this, Dan. You're upset. Ezra's upset. We're disappointed with the system. So all of a sudden,
I'm not disappointed.
Then
I'm
let
at
He's
war with
saying
it.
that you got abused by the system. You didn't get a free pass
I'm not talking about
because
me.
you're not oppressed.
No.
And you didn't steal a
Talking to the
Gucci
mic.
bag.
Talking to the mic, Zoya. You don't have to look at me, Zoya, but I want you to know. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the people who commit the crimes. You heard what Ezra says. And people are getting away with it.
Sure.
And they're not even prosecuting because shoplifting is not needed to be
revolving
prosecuted.
door.
White privilege.
So here's my problem.
That's
I've
right.
never felt
So
privileged.
you all know that people in every business get perks. You send somebody a car. You send somebody a thing. Somebody in your office needs to run home for the child. They all use these services. The governor uses his helicopter. When he gets caught, he pays back the fees when he goes, when he goes politicalizing. If somebody uses something illegal in their office, political office, so they get punished. They have to pay back the fine. That's what it is. Trump. Case against ex-president company isn't about justice, it's political show. They arrested President Trump's CFO. For what? Not for stealing, not for embezzling, not for lying.
For perks in the company that had nothing to do with
and
any of
they
this.
had his taxes for 5 years, and they still couldn't get it.
This is really political persecution.
more than that.
Ezra,
White
privilege.
I understand. Your legal profession just goes out and screws us all the time?
Yes, but no, that's not. Look, you have to understand something.
Is it a job, or do you care about
the
it?
Constitution stopped the day President Trump decided to go down those stairs, go down
The escalator.
and run for president. That's when the Constitution really ended.
Excuse me? What do you mean stopped?
Well, that's when the equal application of the law and that the protections of the Constitution to everyone ended. Because
No, I don't believe that.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't agree with
Stanley,
you at all.
I think that's the
I
reality.
think that's where it began.
Why do you say that?
Well, the reason I say is because until that, nobody, including, I'm not that young, but nobody was has ever been arrested for taking perks from an office. Honestly, this is a tax case, which is usually
Sure.
It's not even taxes.
it's a tax case which is usually dealt with the IRS or New York State's Department of Treasury, and you get a little fine for it. You pay it back, and everybody goes home happily.
Sure.
This started with Letitia James when she ran for state attorney general. She guaranteed an indictment against the president, as saying, "I'm going to find a way to get against the immunity that we have for a president, and I'm going to get him." So Trump, is a victim of being Donald Trump. That's why I said the
Absolutely.
Constitution stopped is because all the protections of the Constitution that you and I enjoy as a citizen whether we're private citizens, whether we're public officials, whether we're the president of the United
I'm
States.
saying something different. It started to protect the Constitution with Trump.
Well, it start
Taking it back.
taking it back from us. Which I think
Absolutely.
we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How would you defend this guy?
This
right
case?
now? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is a case where I don't think I have to look at the indictment itself, but this is the first case I've ever seen where you have a New York City or a local county prosecutor. I know New York City is the financial capital of the world, but the Manhattan DA's office. I mean, Cy Vance is on his way out anyway. He's going to drop this. He's dropping this load of garbage into somebody else's lap in January 1st anyway.
I don't think it's him. I think he's being pressured by other
Well,
people.
Cy Vance has to figure out what he wants to do and starting January 1st. I think he'd like a job somewhere in the Biden
Keisha
administration.
James should be ashamed of herself, though.
Well, she's looking. I mean, if Como doesn't get the nomination,
Oh,
Keisha
God,
James is a
please,
close
no.
second. So I agree with you, but that's but when you're thinking about that, you have. I mean, unfortunately, that's a political reality. But I think eventually what's going to happen to answer your case is there is no way that this is a criminal case. As I said, I've never seen I've never heard of a local prosecutor prosecuting a federal tax crime, which is not even a crime; it's a federal tax violation in a county or state Supreme Court. I mean, you have jurisdictional issues.
Ezra,
you have venue issues. You have many issues.
I'm not talking about myself, but you know that everybody does something with their taxes. I forgot to report $30 I got. Stan bought me.
He wasn't arrested.
Right, if somebody takes you out to dinner, or there's so many things that you have to report that you can't forget. Everybody's guilty in a sense. You really are going, but the point is we're not embarrassed. The lawyers who are taking on these cases are not embarrassed. There's no shame in the legal profession. Isn't the legal profession supposed to be, what's the word? The most, you're supposed to be the most, come on,
I mean, look.
You're supposed to be the most
Humane?
humane.
We're supposed to actually follow the rules that we make. I mean, that's unfortunately, I'll say many lawyers on both ends, on both ends of the spectrum do not follow up. But I could tell you, in your case specifically, since I know all about your case, more than we'll discuss it in about 4 weeks from now. But in your case, in Mr. Trump's case, even in the impeachments that we mentioned, lawyers have taken the law and have made it into a tyranny, for lack of a better term. It's a tyranny. I mean, America has become a third world republic in the last.
Do you know when I was out in Coney Island, we held this rally with Flag Day and with Derek and everyone. There was a guy in the parking lot where I parked. He's Russian, and I put the Jewish star on him, and we talked. You know what he said to me? Geez, if I would have known like this, I would have gone back to Russia. It's better there.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh my God.
Oh my God is correct.
I mean, look.
And by the way, they know. They were under it.
Right.
It's the problem we're having is, Dracula. Remember Dracula? When I was a kid, the story of Dracula was amazing. Someone's going to come, bite you on the neck, and you're gone. Guess what?
Or you get to live forever.
And you have a nice whatever. In any case, my wife at that time told me something I'll never forget. She said, Dracula is a story about evil, that people cannot believe evil really exists.
I know.
And what we're facing is that. We can't believe this kind of evil exists. This is like Dracula. It comes out of nowhere, and we won't admit what it is. But you cannot fight and win it unless you admit it. Wow. Then we can take them on. Until that time, we're going to be screaming bloody hell about every little thing, and it won't stop.
I'm going to keep fighting. Call into the show, everybody, 718-289-0070. Stan, I have a question for you.
I think we have a call.
Well, we're going to take a call. You drove here from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Do you know how much the gas prices are right now?
Nuts.
I mean, man, I feel bad for you because I think you should push the car home because it's crazy. $4.03 regular, I see in some places. I mean, Stan, they're abusing us. They're taking us for. Did you get the vaccine, by the way?
Yeah, I certainly did.
Why? Everybody says it's fake.
I
took it too. Don't get me wrong.
Frankly speaking, I didn't care what anyone thought.
Right.
I'm 76 years old. Why take a chance?
Why take a chance? But it won't kill you. We know that.
If it does, well, that's how it goes.
How long ago did you take it?
About 3 months ago.
Nothing wrong. All good for you.
My wife doesn't believe that.
My wife doesn't.
No, everything is pretty good.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Soya, take a phone call. Let's see who's on the call. Hello, you out there with Heshy, Soya, Ezri, and Stan. Hello? Hello?
Hey,
Hey.
this is Shmuel from Toronto.
Shmuel from Canada. You know, I want you to know, Shmuel, we feel bad for you Canadians. They're abusing the privileges there. You can't even fight back. You can't even scream and holler without them arresting you. And we have a lawyer here that I don't know how somebody could be arrested for not wearing a mask, Mr. Lawyer. I mean, that's just stupid completely.
Again,
This is you probably will, you might find this pretty nuts, but I would. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I wear 3 masks when I go out, even outside.
Why?
I am freaked out of getting COVID. I'm fully vaxxed, but like you just don't know what's gonna happen, you know?
But Shmuel, you have millions of people, I mean, billions of people across the world. Yes, you're right. 600,000 people died here. 1.5 million died, but they die from the flu all the time. I mean, do you take your flu shot during the year? Do you take aspirins? Do you wear double coats in the winter? Wearing a mask with those little itty bitty holes, you actually believe is going to help you only if somebody coughs at you. And trust me, you're not wearing gloves. You're going to touch something with a disease or dirty. You're going to get just as
I
sick.
do wear gloves.
Okay.
In grocery stores, I wear gloves.
Okay, so you are being too protective, and I
Do you
agree
know
with
that stress and anxiety affects your immune system?
And do you know, Shmuel, breathing in your own oxygen over and over and over again is also not good for you? I'm not, again, I'm
Take
not
off the mask.
No, I'm not preaching to you. I'm not a doctor. But
Take
So,
it
wait,
off.
is she saying to take off all 3 or just one?
All
'Cause I can leave
3.
2
Take
on.
it off and breathe some fresh oxygen.
Shmuel,
It's too hard.
But Shmuel, most of the people in your country don't want to wear masks. They want to go out. They're not dying and getting sick. I mean, they're saying now the Delta virus is coming back. Here's a new thing, Stan. I want you to know this. There's a new virus coming out. Me and Ezra are going to have to deal with it. It's called the Delta virus. Why me and Ezra? Because they're going to arrest me again. Ezra, be ready.
It's a Delta virus? What's like Delta like in a flight?
No, it's actually came from India. I don't know why they call
So
it
this
Delta.
Delta virus is supposedly spreading all over California, spreading through 5 states, even though the COVID vax, even, thank you so much for your call, caller. I mean, but I want you to know, our numbers in New York City, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all across our tri-state area is lower than 0.038 to 0.032. Now, they're pushing this new Delta virus because they're ready to come after us. And I was reading a report, Ezra, that the PCR tests were made to fail as you took the test. So my question to you is, and I proved it, Ezra. I did 2,000 testing. I showed those fake PCR tests. I did, Stan. We were in a red zone here in where you are right now in this neighborhood. We were in a red zone. I went out with the help of other people. Yes, the borough president said we could do it. And we did our own testing with the same people. And you know what? We went from red to yellow, showing that their fake the tests were fake. Then we took the same PCR tests and we got 300 positives.
Listen, we have a fake president. Everything is fake.
The bottom line is he's president.
Fake.
No matter what is, he's there. And again, his constitution, our constitution said that at the end of the day, even if the numbers are fake or resulted. So again, is cheating allowed, Stan? Is cheating?
Absolutely.
Of
course. Because you're in a different system now.
So Ezra, now he just said the Board of Elections.
In a communist country.
You're in a communist country.
The Board of Elections, which certifies elections, admits, and I want to read this to you. They admitted in a press release. I want you to hear this. This is so interesting. They admitted in a press release that they made a mistake. They apologized. They apologized for their, where is it? I'm going to keep that one.
126,000 votes.
135,000 votes. They actually apologized for making a mistake, that some of their machines are good. But I understand, election after election, they keep making these same mistakes.
But no apologies before this.
Apologies don't do anything. Apologies, I mean...
Right? Look who our quote-unquote president is now.
Apologies don't...
How do you
don't protect-
apologize for that? He didn't win.
Apologies like
the
that.
sanctity of my
Excuse
vote.
me, I just killed your mother, but I'm sorry.
Apologies don't protect my vote.
So Ezra,
you know,
as a lawyer, I want to ask you this question. The Board of Election has admitted to making the mistake. They've admitted that they filed incorrectly. The paper here, the Board of Election conducts rigorous and mandatory pre-qualification testing for every election. Okay, now they're saying that the RCV software uses, they produced unofficial results. When the illegal votes were recorded, they extracted it. The 135,000 illegal, approximately additional records.
That's nice. That's
The
all
board-
nice.
the
Hold on.
board's-
What are they going to do about it?
The board staff has removed.
I don't
all-
want an apology.
So my question to you is: they're now retabulating it, regenerating
With
it.
the same broken machines?
And let me read you the last line. The board apologizes for the error and has taken immediate measures to ensure. Now,
What measures? Are they sharing the measures they're taking with us?
Ezra, isn't legally I'm allowed to make the whole vote be redone?
I don't know if you're gonna be able. You could try. I think that's a lot. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, but the problem is, while you're doing that, aren't we stuck with the
Yeah, we're
garbage that we
stuck
have in
with- yes,
office right
and once
now?
they're in office, I could be able to get them out just because you had a bad election. What happened in last November's election, I think,
Yeah, don't you think they should have been checking all the machines
Well,
after what happened with
I perso-
Biden and
I per-
Trump?
I
Don't you
personally-
think they
look-
should have been checking every single machine?
I personally think that since New York years, I remember when I used to pull the lever. Now now you fill in the blank. You fill in the blanks. But if you're gonna fill in those dots,
I remember the levers.
Right,
I like the levers.
but that's fine. I'm happy.
It's
with
like
paper.
manual. You know that it's going through.
But I'm happy with- I'm also happy
hold on,
with the paper.
Ezra.
Excuse me,
But also you have to scan in your
Right.
paper, and the scan doesn't work
But
sometimes.
that's a fine. If you have a paper, you have a paper record. Instead of letting a computer, which is full of error, it's suspect to errors, it's suspect to hacking, it's suspect to anything.
It's
else.
binary, it's racist.
It's binary and racist. But I mean, if you want voter confidence, let's do it the old-fashioned way. Things work. They had elections in the 18th century. We had elections in the 19th century. They didn't have computers doing counting everything. There's something called manual counting with, you have people who can monitor it, who are unbiased, so at least you have both parties there. We have to,
Yeah, I don't know though, the education system with the critical race theory now, and now how they're reconfiguring mathematics.
I know.
2 and 2 is not 4 anymore.
Actually,
Sorry, the way
2 and
he-
2 is 44 these days.
But you know, but you,
Right?
no, but you heard what Ezra says. Each place has, if you went into the polling sites, they don't have 2 people or 5 people there. They have 20, 30 people at every site. And then each candidate has a poll watcher. How hard is it to count 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000 votes in the next hour or 2?
Here was
Who's working for who here?
You should have somebody advise.
my opinion.
One at a
Here
time.
was the problem. I was there when they did with the Bush thing with.
Bush v. Gore?
Remember that thing?
Yeah, I was-
2000.
The hanging chad.
Hang and chat.
All that good old hanging chad. I wish it was back. Any case, what happened was no one could see anything. It was 6 feet away. They couldn't see one thing what they were doing. They got away with murder over there. When you have a voting system where the people are supposed to look over there, they can't stand 6 feet away. Number 2, when they recounted the votes, they should have done the hanging chad recount.
Correct.
One Democrat here, one Republican sitting right next to each other, looking at that ballot, and a referee saying that. They didn't do that. That's the same people who stole this thing doing the recount.
But you know how smart you are? Because when we do signatures and somebody objects to your competitor's signatures, they have a referee watching each signature
Absolutely.
and questioning it. This whole election thing is a game. I understand it's controlled. I understand since Tammany Hall of the 1800s, it's much better than back then. But still, we should be so perfect. There should be a guy fixing the machines on the spot in every location.
Absolutely.
A mechanic. No such thing that somebody tells me the internet is now that you can't use the computer to check in. I actually saw people walk out as on election day saying the computers are not down, so I can't even check in to fill out a ballot. And here's my last thing. I don't agree with absentee ballots. I don't agree with the early voting rules.
Absolutely.
Stop it. There's one voting day a day. You should prepare, like when you get married. You're getting married, you show up for your wedding or you don't show up for your wedding. Everybody knows November 3rd is the election day.
Absolutely.
And you know what they did in New York City now? Usually we have the the signatures in June when it's warm, and we have the primary in September, and then we go to the final election November. This year they did the signatures in the bitter cold of March. Now, Stan, you're walking down the street, you're holding your wife's hand and you're carrying a bag, and some guy walks up to you, can you please sign my application? I know you're a nice guy, and you like the guy, but actually it's bitter cold. You have to sign your name and your address and your whole thing. You think you're going to hang out there in the middle of the cold, and me and Sawyer did it. We had to stand 10, 12 hours a day doing it. You just have to stand.
We also had the coronavirus on top of that, where people were like, you know.
Right. So my point is, they purposely did it so they can get less people in there. Now you're coming into to the summer where everybody's going away on vacation. So how are you going to make elections of primaries when there are people not around? Usually in my district alone, just for primary, there's a minimum of 12,000 votes. We didn't even have 7,000 with the mail-in 1,900 mail-in absentee ballots. It doesn't make sense. People couldn't come. People wouldn't come. I understand election day, you have to make it your business. But when you're just not going to show up because you keep changing the date. We have election day set for years. We have Thanksgiving set for a particular day. We have Memorial Day. We have Labor Day. I know there's a new holiday. Did you hear about the new holiday they just made? Juneteenth. You heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Another national, which I have no problem. And then,
Wait. What is it?
it's the day that the actual slaves were freed.
No, it's
Right.
actually the day
No.
that the slaves in Texas were told that the Civil War
So
was
this
over.
is like
And
this.
So it wasn't even the.
It was
So one
about a
second.
year later.
Is
Do
this
you
like?
know what the next holiday
Is this
should
like
be?
in comparison, Lahavdil, to like
what-
I'll
Passover?
leave that
No,
alone.
the next holiday should have been June 14th.
Flag Day.
One second.
Flag Day.
When George Washington and the founding fathers wrote the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and freed everyone in perpetuity. That's what they did.
And what about
but
the
you don't see
Olympics?
June 14th.
The reason is it's not June 14th because they couldn't sign all the documents till July 4th or something.
So whatever it is, they should make that day.
Another holiday. We have too many holidays.
What,
People just want- people
what
just go
about
on
what
to work.
happened with the Olympics? We had this individual that a competitor who didn't want to sing the.
If she wants, she turned her back, or
She turned her
was
back on the
disrespectful during-
American flag.
or the
And
national
she's
anthem.
representing the United States of America. She should not be representing a
So-
country
so I
that
have-
she's turning her back on.
I have a question. We are being eaten up on every level here. Every tributary to this Constitution is being clogged up. The lifelines of liberty are being cut throughout the whole world by these people. That's what we're facing. And the voices are yelling and screaming from the public, one second, and it doesn't stop on Facebook. It's just maddening. And people call me up. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And you know what my answer finally became? That's why I did this. The answer is, we do what we got to do. We got to first face what this thing is. Now, when George Washington went out there to fight, he didn't say, gee whiz, man, I don't think I can beat this thing. And if some guy came up to him like Dr. Fucci and said, excuse me, troops got to take a break here. Can't go across the Delaware tonight. What do you think would have happened to him? So I think we need something that we're so confident we can start to move knowing we're going to win. And we don't have it.
Well, the show is coming to an end. I want you to read your new Pledge of Allegiance.
All right.
I want you to read. I want you to hear this, and I want you guys to listen to what America is. And here it is. Go ahead.
So before I do this, I must tell you how it came about.
You got to go quick.
All right. I was walking in the street, you know, for a guy running for office, and a kid came up to me and he said, what was the intent of the founders? He asked me that question. I said, tyranny. The next question I want to know is, where does tyranny arise from? Who makes these lunatics, these fascists? And the answer comes right from the Bible. People who declare war on God, all their domains, Russia, everyone, they deny your God-given rights. And what's the one thing the Constitution does? It's the declaration of war on tyranny to protect our God-given rights. So that Constitution is directly connected to the law of God.
I agree.
God created.
Do you want me to read it? Because we have less than 30
I'm going to read
seconds.
it. But it's important you know that. So here's the new Pledge of Allegiance. First it starts, George Washington, the Constitution is a guideline I will never abandon, neither must we. Establishing the final version to our Pledge of Allegiance, guaranteeing our triumph over tyranny, preserving liberty's blessings for every generation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to its Constitution upon which our free republic stands, one nation, indivisible, freed from tyranny, with liberty and justice for all. We need the Constitution there. It ensures us one nation under God, free from tyranny.
Good night, everybody.
Not yet. I want one more
It's
question.
10 o'clock.
I got you. Is there justice for all, Ezra?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
You'll get it.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to my show. Thank you, Stan, for coming. Thank you, Ezra, for coming. Me and Ezra, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of more shows. We're going to have every single show, we're going to have an Ezra criminal thing, so you can call in for a criminal question, ask him your advice, call into the show, and Ezra's going to come and prepared. Even if he's not prepared, he's going to make something up. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Go ahead. You can play the music.